Father Will?
Yes, hi. Father Will from East LA. And I live in a depressed community. I think what we're talking about in the previous speakers are individuals who are depressed, but there's also that collective sense of depression. And it's evident in the graffiti that's all over the walls, the trash that's all over the streets, the total disregard of civility amongst friends and neighbors, of lack of trust of other people. And so I hope that part of the strategies are also the collective strategies and enhancing the resiliency of communities to make a better life for each other. Because again, I think it has that overall impact. And again, one of my big things is with the kids, and I think the kids take this on as a collective sense as well. As individuals, they may, as Tim was saying, they may or may not have all those symptoms of depression, but in their dress, in their style of living, in their lowest of expectations of themselves and of their friends, and of pulling each other down if one starts to rise up, all that kind of stuff. And again, I hope that we look at the collective side as well as the individual side.
I think that's a very, very important point.
I work in mental health. My name is Jessica, and we're a very small team, 2 case managers and myself with Queen's Care. And one thing that I do see with mothers is that usually they are not aware of what depression is. So I think educating mothers on what is depression and what can you do to improve that needs. For example, can you hear me? For example, there are techniques that we can teach mothers, such as going to the park and going for a walk, taking your children on the stroller. That significantly can improve the way you feel. Just little things that you can do. Case managers are there to offer resources, such as finding food, clothing for your children, after-school programs, childcare, etc. So I think it's important to educate parents and to let them know what you can do about it.
So you're also talking a team approach, right?
The team approach is important. Yes.
That is going to be our next segment, is talking about collaborative care and how a team approach is really helpful. Any other people pressing? I don't want you to. No, I want everybody to talk. If I had my way, you just all talk all day and we forget everything else. But I want to keep on scheduling.
I'm a PhD student, and I'm also both of me and my husband are ministers, and so I did a study where I looked at 204 pastors, and and I talked with them and asked them about depression and how they defined it and how do they look at it. And so I found that, all of them, of course, they deal with depression every day. And so they're like gatekeepers in terms of they deal with that constantly with their lives in terms of their congregations. But I found that it depends on your culture, on how you define what depression is. It could be defined differently based on race. It could be defined differently based upon religious denomination. And so, just the difference in how you define it affect how they counseled it or how they referred it.
Making a very important point about culture and the influence on depression care. What is depression from different perspectives? Okay, a couple more comments. Barbara?
I'm Barbara with Assistance League and the Hollywood Senior Center, and we deal with a variety of populations, but one population that I want to talk about is a very hidden population, and that's the homebound, frail elderly. We do not see them. They're too weak and too frail to speak for themselves. They're isolated. They're losing their sight. They're losing their hearing. They're losing their friends. They're alone, and we incur these individuals every day. And so our staff has to deal with it in terms of trying to help them some way. But But then I have to deal with the staff that comes back to me and frustrated because they can't help these individuals. And they in turn become depressed over their inability to provide resources and support.
Great comment.
My name is Michael Wiener, and I'm a CADEC certified counselor and staff. And I would like to share my observation how substance abusing clients, how often they experience depression or could be assessed for depression. There is one population which is not depressed, almost never, and that's habitual drug drivers. They're not depressed. They might be, probably a couple of percent of them have some kind of measurable depression. They're not depressed. A depressed person is living in the world of fear of what might happen. And this fear and driving drunk do not go together. And there are two populations with a different score or incidence of depression. First, drug offenders. Drug diversion of 7,000 clients. 1/3 are clinically depressed. I used to administer them the drug depression inventory. And multiple drug offenders, proposition 36. 2/3 are clinically depressed. So from DUI offenders to first drug offenders and multiple, the incidence of depression is increasing dramatically. Thank you.
We've identified several special populations and the population of the community as a whole as the depression problems. We've talked about cultural considerations. I think all important. You know, there's special considerations with each group and with each community. And that's why we are here as the SPA4 Community Hollywood Metro Group to create our plan to fit our community. Probably hard in this community since it's Hollywood. Los Angeles is very difficult because we're so diverse. But we want to get all the populations, we want to get the issues on the table and direct our plan, tailor our plan so that it's the best possible fit for our population.